My name is Lisa, I'm a girl from New York, and I've got this cheating story that's gonna blow your mind. I've always had this secret fantasy, being with an older guy, someone with real wisdom and life experience. And trust me, fate has some wild ways of making our deepest desires come true. A few months back, I met my boyfriend, Matt. He's this charming guy, full of energy, with a smile that could melt anyone's heart. We bumped into each other at a party, and from the get-go, I felt this special connection. He won me over with his humor and that natural spark that makes him stand out. And come on, who could say no to those intense green eyes that seem to look right into your soul? But here's where things take an unexpected turn. When Matt introduced me to his family, I noticed his dad was pretty hot. Yeah, you heard that right. Not only did I land an awesome boyfriend, but I also ended up meeting his father, John, an attractive older man. I can't deny that the moment I saw him, something inside me lit up. He's got this distinguished vibe, a perfectly trimmed beard, and a gaze that screams total confidence. He always dresses in that understated elegance with a modern twist. His hands are big and strong, like they could do amazing things. And that smile, it makes you want to be the only reason it's on his face. I couldn't help feeling like fate was messing with me. Here I was, with my fantasy about an older guy, and the universe seemed to be saying, Lisa, here's your chance. My mind started spinning all kinds of forbidden, thrilling scenarios. Every time we got together as a family, I couldn't stop seeking out those fleeting moments of connection between John and me. An accidental brush of hands, an intense look, they were little sparks of a fire that seemed to burn between us. But of course, I couldn't let anyone know what was going through my head. The tension between us became almost unbearable the day we ended up alone. We were in the backyard, under the warm afternoon sun, when our eyes locked and the air shifted. It was a moment as magical as it was provocative. I knew I was about to cross a delicate line, but the desire was so strong I just couldn't hold back. That's when I knew I'd passed the point of no return. And so begins my cheating story with my boyfriend's dad. One day, my boyfriend Matt threw a family get-together at his place. It was the perfect chance for everyone to get to know each other better and strengthen those family bonds. But what I never imagined was that in the middle of it all, I'd have an encounter that would awaken my most forbidden desires. I was in the kitchen, chatting lively with the guests, when I felt a familiar presence behind me. I turned around, and there he was, my boyfriend's dad, John, with a captivating smile on his face. My heart skipped a beat. As the afternoon went on, John and I started talking in a quiet corner of the house. We discovered we had stuff in common, from music to travel. Every word out of his mouth sparked my curiosity and admiration. I loved how he shared his experiences with such enthusiasm and insight. But what really shook me was the way he looked at me when he thought I wasn't noticing. Every time I bent down to pick something up or turned my back, I could feel his burning gaze on me. His eyes seemed to trace every inch of my body, filling me with an uncontrollable desire. The subtle flirting between us, it ramped up with every interaction. Our conversations got loaded with hints and double meanings. It was like we were creating our own secret language, just for us. Every time our hands brushed accidentally, an electric current shot through my skin, leaving me wanting more. Even though I knew this was wrong, I couldn't resist the temptation. My obsession with being with an older man had taken over, and John seemed ready to make my fantasies real. The danger and adrenaline mixed into an explosive combo. After that casual run-in at the family gathering, something shifted between John and me. The attraction that was always there, now it became more obvious, more intense. It was like we both knew we were playing with fire, but neither of us wanted to step away from that forbidden heat. The tension turned into an inferno. Every time we met, our bodies inched closer in subtle ways, teetering on the edge of what's allowed. A simple touch of hands was enough to ignite the passion burning inside us. But it wasn't just in person where our flirting played out. We started swapping secret texts, full of hints and double entendres. Every word was a seduction game, a way to keep the flame alive that was consuming us. We were stepping into dangerous territory, but the thrill was addictive. At family meetups, John took every chance to check me out. His fiery eyes roamed every inch of my body, sending shivers of desire down my spine. Sometimes, his stares were so intense they left me breathless. And me? I couldn't help but stare back, with a suggestive smile that screamed my complicity. As the seduction game heated up, the tension became unbearable. Every time our eyes met, I could feel the electricity in the air. Our bodies craved a more intimate encounter, but the situation forced us to be patient and keep feeding that flame without letting it burn out. As days passed, our talks got bolder. We shared secrets and fantasies, creating a parallel world, where only John and I existed. We dared to push the boundaries of what's okay, challenging morality and our own emotional walls. Those loaded looks and subtle messages became our secret code, away from prying eyes. Every written word was like a complicit whisper, a veiled invite to boundless desire and pleasure. Sometimes, just one look was enough to know exactly what the other craved. The desire I felt for John started driving me totally crazy. Nights were filled with thoughts and fantasies I couldn't control. I craved the touch of his hands, the brush of his lips, the wild passion only he could awaken in me. Every family gathering turned into a test of resisting temptation. One day, fate played in our favor. Everyone had left Matt's house, and it was just John and me. Adrenaline rushed through me from head to toe, knowing we were alone, about to shatter the barrier between reality and what had only lived in our fantasies so far. The tension in the air was thick. Every look, every word, was loaded with forbidden desire that consumed us. We drew closer slowly, like irresistible magnets, until our eyes locked in a burst of pent-up passion. Without needing words, we let ourselves get swept up in that intense need devouring us from inside. Our lips melted in a kiss full of fire and desire, releasing all the passion we'd held back for so long. It was like the world faded away, leaving us alone to surrender to the desire that connected us from the start. My hands trembled as they caressed his well-groomed beard and slid over his chest. Feeling his sturdy, masculine body against mine, it was intoxicating. Every touch sparked pleasure, fueling the fire consuming us. Unable to hold back anymore, we moved into the kitchen, where the scent of dinner I was prepping for that night hung in the air. The vibe was charged with intense, dangerous electricity. We knew we were defying all norms and rules, but that only amped up our excitement. We gave in to desire without limits. Every kiss, every touch, filled me with sensations. My hands slipped under his shirt, exploring every defined muscle, while his lips trailed my neck, sending shivers of pleasure. It was forbidden ecstasy, delicious and wrong. Leaning against the table, I gave myself to him completely. I felt his body pressing against mine, the urgent need consuming us. The sounds of our whispers and sighs filled the space, mixing with the tempting aroma of food cooking for dinner. The kitchen became our secret sanctuary, where moans of pleasure blended with the salty taste of transgression. Every movement, every moment, turned into a passionate, wild dance. We surrendered to pleasure without holding back, exploring the desire that had been simmering between us. Time stood still in that instant as we lost ourselves in a sensual, thrilling experience. Every touch, every caress reminded us of our intense connection. It was like the universe had conspired to unite us right then, making us forget everything except the ecstasy intoxicating us. When the climax finally hit us, it was like an explosion of emotions that left us breathless. We looked at each other with that silent complicity, knowing we'd crossed a threshold with no turning back. That first encounter left deep marks, impossible to erase, and we both knew it wouldn't be the last. After our passionate moment in the kitchen, John and I rushed to get dressed before the family came back from shopping. As I fixed myself up, a mix of adrenaline and nerves took over, trying to erase any trace of what just happened. When everyone returned, we sat down at the table like nothing had gone down. But our complicit glances gave us away. Every time our eyes met, a silent agreement sealed between us, reminding us of the shared desire in secret. Despite our efforts to act normal, the air was thick with tension. Family conversations flowed around us, but my mind could only think about the desire burning under the surface. Every shared moment at the table became a test of our ability to hide our emotions. Dinner went on without a hitch, but the feeling of fakeness lingered in every smile and word. I couldn't help feeling like an imposter, like I was betraying Matt and his whole family. Guilt and emotional conflict piled up in my chest, threatening to burst at any second. And while we tried to keep up appearances, our complicit looks didn't stop. Every time our eyes met, the fire of desire flared up. It was like the world vanished around us, trapping us in a connection we couldn't break. After that night full of sneaky glances, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of emotions and desires. I'd fulfilled my fantasy of being with an older man, and let me tell you, it was incredibly hot and fulfilling. Every encounter with John was an experience that left me breathless. We dove into a world where only he and I existed, our passions intertwining in a wild dance. The way he touched me, the way he kissed me, took me to ecstasy I'd never felt before. And the best part was that no one suspected a thing. We moved in the shadows, hiding our secret, while acting like a happy family in front of everyone. We kept up the facade and made sure nobody caught on to the forbidden passion consuming us. The days after were filled with steamy hookups and secret texts. Every moment alone was a chance to explore each other's bodies and let uncontrollable desire take over. We gave ourselves to each other without limits, letting our wildest fantasies come true. My experiences with John became some of the best I'd ever had. Every time we met, I felt alive and free. It was like I'd discovered a part of myself that had always been waiting to be unleashed. My desire for an older man had come to life, and I was ready to enjoy it to the fullest. After those passionate times with John, I couldn't help comparing him to Matt, my boyfriend. As time went on, my desire for my boyfriend's dad started outweighing everything I felt for Matt. I was stuck in a dilemma, torn between lust and loyalty. John had become a lover who exceeded my wildest expectations. His experience and passion took me to places I'd never explored. Every hookup with him was a storm of sensations and unchecked pleasure. I couldn't stop thinking about him every moment, wishing he was by my side instead of Matt. The truth is, my relationship with Matt started feeling monotonous compared to the passion I shared with John. Every time I was with Matt, my mind wandered to the exciting secret experiences with his dad. I felt trapped in a world of deception and lies. The lying started eating me up, filling my heart with guilt and confusion. I wondered how I'd gotten to this point, how I'd let my darkest desires lead me down such a dangerous path. I knew I was betraying Matt, and sooner or later, the consequences would hit. As my thing with John intensified, the distance from Matt became more obvious. I no longer felt the same emotional connection with him, and our intimate moments turned empty and passionless. I was stuck in a relationship that no longer satisfied me, craving the forbidden passion with John. Every time I saw John, desire took over me. His presence wrapped me in an atmosphere of excitement and temptation. His burning eyes called to me, and I couldn't resist the magnetic pull between us. My heart raced when we were close, and my thoughts clouded with the fantasy of being alone with him again. After a lot of thinking, I finally decided to break up with Matt. I used the excuse that I didn't have enough time because of my college commitments, but really, I felt nothing for him anymore. Our relationship had lost its spark, and it was clear our paths had split. It was a tough moment, but I knew it was right. Matt deserved someone who could give him the love and attention I couldn't anymore. Ending it was painful, but necessary so we could both find our own way. After I told Matt my decision to end things, his reaction was a mix of shock and confusion. His eyes showed the clear pain the news caused, and it tore me up to see him hurt like that. He tried to understand my reasons, but it was obvious he never imagined our love would end. The following days were marked by tense, awkward silence. We avoided eye contact, like it could reopen the wounds even more. We both needed space to process what happened, to let time do its thing and heal what the breakup had broken. Even though I was convinced I'd done the right thing, I couldn't ignore the knot in my chest, knowing how much I'd hurt someone who'd meant so much to me. It's been 4 months since I broke up with Matt, and while that part of my life is behind me, my hookups with his dad continue. Our passion hasn't faded, if anything, it's grown even more intense. The secret moments we share make me feel alive and wanted in a way I've never experienced before. I'm aware that what we have is full of risks and complications, but I can't help surrendering to the thrill and desire John stirs in me. Every encounter with him is like a fresh breath of air, a temporary escape from reality that I dive into without a second thought. Still, I fully understand the consequences this could bring. I can't ignore the damage it might cause to Matt and his family, or that what we're living is, in the end, a secret hidden in plain sight. Maybe, sometime later, when time has passed and things calm down, I'll come back to share how this story continues. For now, thanks for letting me share my confession.